Think you've seen it all? Think again. These aren't your typical Ferraris or Lambos. These are the ghosts of the car world. From one-off prototypes to ultra-limited masterpieces, here are 12 ultra-rare cars you've probably never heard of. Each one has a story that'll blow your mind. Ready to be amazed? Let's go. There are cars that define their era, cars that challenge convention, and then there are cars that come out of nowhere and forever cement themselves as legends. The 1954 Pegaso Z102 Coupe belongs firmly to that last category, a remarkable fusion of artistry, engineering, and audacity that turned a Spanish truck manufacturer into a name whispered with reverence in the world of high-performance automobiles. The story of the Pegaso Z102 begins with an ambitious dream. In post-war Spain, the country was rebuilding. Its industries focused on essential production to support a fragile economy. At the time, Pegaso was known almost exclusively for its reliable, hardworking commercial vehicles. But when Wilfredo Ricart, a brilliant and innovative engineer who had cut his teeth at Alfa Romeo, took the reins of Pegaso, he envisioned something far greater. Ricart wasn't content with practical machines. He wanted to prove that Pegaso could rival the best in the world and produce a sports car that would compete with the likes of Ferrari and Maserati. The result was the Z102, an automotive marvel that was years ahead of its time. Everything about the car reflected Ricart's unrelenting pursuit of excellence. At its heart was a state-of-the-art 2.8-liter V8 engine, designed in-house by Pegaso's engineering team. Depending on the configuration, this engine could be naturally aspirated or supercharged, delivering between 175 and an astonishing 360 horsepower. With its lightweight chassis and meticulously tuned aerodynamics, the Z102 could achieve speeds of over 155 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest cars of its day and a true competitor on the global stage. Yet the Z102 was more than just a technological powerhouse. It was a work of art. To bring his vision to life, Ricart collaborated with some of the finest Italian and French coach builders of the era. Iconic names like Carrozzeria Touring, Sauchick, and Serra were tasked with designing the car's bodywork, and the results were breathtaking. Each Z102 was a bespoke creation with hand-formed aluminum or steel panels sculpted into shapes that were both aerodynamic and beautiful. Whether it was the clean, elegant lines of Touring's designs or the flamboyant, jewel-like details of Sauchick's work, every Z102 was a masterpiece. Each Pegaso Z102 was unique, reflecting the desires of its individual owner. Some featured subtle, understated elegance, while others embraced bold and extravagant designs that turned heads wherever they went. But no matter the bodywork, the Z102 shared a common trait. It was unmistakably exclusive. Pegaso's production process was painstakingly slow, and the price of the Z102 placed it firmly in the realm of the ultra-wealthy. Over the course of its production, from 1951 to 1958, only around 84 examples were ever built, making it one of the rarest cars of its era. The Z102 was also a car of firsts. It introduced advanced technologies that were groundbreaking for the time, including a 5-speed gearbox and a chassis that used lightweight materials for optimal weight distribution and handling. Even the braking system, with its innovative inboard rear brakes, demonstrated Pegaso's commitment to cutting-edge engineering. These innovations didn't just make the car fast, they made it agile, balanced, and thrilling to drive. For its time, the Z102 was nothing short of a technological tour de force. Pegaso wasn't shy about showcasing the Z102's capabilities. The car made its debut at prestigious events such as the Paris Motor Show and the Geneva Salon, where it drew crowds of astonished spectators. It also competed in motorsports, including an entry in the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans. While its racing career wasn't long or particularly illustrious, it further solidified the Z102's reputation as a serious contender in the world of high-performance cars. Despite its brilliance, the Z102 was fighting an uphill battle. Spain's economic climate in the 1950s was not conducive to luxury sports cars, and Pegaso's limited production capacity meant that the car was never going to be a volume seller. While the Z102 earned acclaim and respect from critics and enthusiasts, its astronomical price and limited availability made it more of a showcase of Pegaso's capabilities than a commercially viable product. By the late 1950s, Pegaso had decided to return its focus to its core business of trucks and buses, and the Z102 project quietly came to an end. Today, the Pegaso Z102 is celebrated as a symbol of audacious ambition. Its rarity and exclusivity make it one of the most sought-after collector cars in the world. At auction, these cars command eye-watering sums, with their value as much a reflection of their scarcity as their unparalleled design and engineering. Each surviving Z102 is a time capsule, a reminder of a moment when a Spanish truck manufacturer dared to dream big. Every so often, the automotive world produces a car so unique, so forward-thinking, that it defies the conventions of its time. The 1967 Marcos XP GT prototype is one such car, a one-of-a-kind experiment that married bold design, unconventional materials, and audacious engineering to create something truly extraordinary. In its daring lines and unorthodox construction lies the story of an ambitious dream that pushed the boundaries of what a car could be. Marcos, a small but fiercely innovative British car maker founded in 1959, had always embraced unconventional thinking. Known for lightweight sports cars with unique materials and engineering solutions, Marcos carved out a niche in the world of boutique automakers. Yet in 1967, they sought to go further, to create a prototype that would redefine what was possible for performance cars. The result was the XP-GT prototype, a car that embodied not just the future of design, but the bold, almost eccentric spirit of British engineering. At first glance, the XP-GT looks like something out of a science fiction dream. Its wedge-shaped profile, designed by Dennis Adams, was revolutionary, a form that would only come into vogue a decade later. With its low pointed nose, sharply raked windshield, and tapering tail, the XP-GT seemed like a machine built for a future where speed and aerodynamics ruled supreme. The design anticipated the iconic wedge aesthetic that would later define supercars like the Lamborghini Countach, Lotus Esprit, and Lancia Stratos. But in 1967, this look was unheard of, radical, and years ahead of its time. Yet the XP-GT wasn't just about appearance. Beneath its striking bodywork was a marvel of ingenuity. A wooden chassis, yes, wood, a material more commonly associated with fine furniture and artisanal craftsmanship, formed the backbone of this futuristic sports car. Marcos had long used laminated plywood for their chassis construction, a decision driven by both the lightweight properties of wood and its affordability for a small manufacturer. But this wasn't an ordinary plank of timber. It was a carefully engineered structure, laminated and bonded for exceptional strength and durability. In an era dominated by steel and the rising use of aluminum, Marcos's use of wood was nothing short of revolutionary and decidedly British in its ingenuity. Under the hood, the XP-GT prototype was powered by a 3.0-liter Ford Essex V6 engine. This robust and reliable power plant provided the performance necessary to match the car's futuristic looks. While official performance figures remain elusive, the combination of lightweight construction, aerodynamic efficiency, and a capable engine suggested the XP-GT could deliver thrilling speed and agility. It wasn't just a design exercise, it was built to be driven. The XP-GT was, in many ways, a car designed to turn heads and challenge conventions. Its low-slung body and futuristic silhouette were unlike anything else on the road at the time. The wedge design wasn't just aesthetic, it was a testament to the growing influence of aerodynamics in automotive engineering. Marcos was pushing into uncharted territory, exploring how form and function could merge to create a car that was both beautiful and technologically advanced. However, the XP-GT prototype was destined to remain a one-off. Despite its brilliance, it was a product of ambition that exceeded the resources of a small company like Marcos. The experimental wooden chassis, though ingenious, was labor-intensive to produce, and the cutting-edge design was too radical for the market of the time. With limited funds and a niche audience, Marcos couldn't justify putting the XP-GT into production. Instead, it became a rolling showcase of the company's vision and creativity, a tantalizing glimpse of what could have been. The XPGT's influence, however, did not fade into obscurity. Its groundbreaking wedge-shaped design laid the foundation for an entire generation of performance cars. The vision of Dennis Adams, realized in the XPGT, inspired some of the most iconic supercars of the 1970s and 1980s, proving that even a prototype can shape the future of automotive design. The XPGT prototype was not just ahead of its time, it was a harbinger of things to come. A car that showed the world how daring design and engineering could redefine expectations. Today, the 1967 Marcos XPGT prototype exists as a singular piece of history, cherished by enthusiasts and collectors for its rarity, its innovation, and its audacious spirit. As a one-off creation, it holds a special place in the annals of automotive history, a reminder of the daring spirit of small manufacturers willing to take risks and challenge conventions. Preserved in its original glory, the XPGT is more than just a car. It's a statement of what's possible when imagination meets engineering. Every so often, a car emerges not just as a machine, but as a bold vision, a bridge between industries, an experiment in blending aesthetics, technology, and imagination. The 1948 Tasco prototype is one such vehicle. Built by the American sports car company, this one-of-a-kind creation was the embodiment of post-war optimism and ambition, a car inspired by the skies but destined to remain grounded as a unique artifact of automotive history. The story of the Tasco begins in the late 1940s, a time when America was transitioning from war to prosperity. Aviation, which had advanced rapidly during World War II, captured the public's imagination. Sleek, streamlined airplanes with innovative materials and designs were seen as the pinnacle of technology. And it wasn't long before these ideas began to influence the automotive world. Enter Gordon Buick, the legendary designer behind classics like the Auburn 851 Boat-tail Speedster and the Cord 810. With the Tasco, Buick sought to create something groundbreaking, a sports car that embraced the cutting-edge style and engineering principles of aviation. At first glance, the Tasco looks like no other car of its era. Its design, heavily influenced by aircraft, is both futuristic and eccentric. The fiberglass body, a highly innovative material for the time, was shaped into a streamlined form that seemed to belong more on a runway than a roadway. The fenders were pronounced, resembling aircraft nacelles, while the overall silhouette echoed the sleek lines of a fuselage. The cockpit-like cabin, complete with a wraparound windshield, reinforced the aviation aesthetic. But what truly set the Tasco apart was its roof. Buick's design incorporated removable roof panels, making the Tasco the first car to feature a T-top configuration. This innovative feature allowed drivers to enjoy an open-air experience without sacrificing the structural rigidity of a full roof. Decades later, this concept would become a hallmark of American sports cars like the Chevrolet Corvette and Pontiac Trans Am. Yet in 1948, it was an idea so ahead of its time that it remained a unique feature of this lone prototype. The Tasco wasn't just about looks, it was a technological marvel. Beneath its fiberglass shell was a tubular steel chassis, a departure from the traditional body-on-frame construction common in the era. The suspension and steering were designed for performance, aiming to deliver a driving experience that matched the car's sporty intentions. Under the hood, the Tasco was powered by a modified V8 engine, providing ample power for spirited driving. Though exact performance figures are scarce, the car was intended to compete with the best sports cars of its time, blending speed, style, and innovation. Despite its bold vision, the Tasco prototype never made it past the concept stage. The high cost of production, combined with its unconventional design, proved insurmountable hurdles for the American sports car company, which lacked the resources to bring the car to market. The automotive landscape of the late 1940s was still dominated by practicality and affordability, and the Tasco's futuristic design was perhaps too daring for a market just beginning to embrace post-war prosperity. Today, the 1948 Tasco prototype stands as a one-of-a-kind relic, preserved in its original form as a testament to the creativity and ambition of its creators. It resides in the annals of automotive history as the first car to feature a T-top roof, a design innovation that would later become a beloved feature of American muscle and sports cars. But the Tasco is more than just a precursor to the T-Top. It represents a moment in time when the worlds of aviation and automobiles collided, a car that dared to ask, what if cars could capture the spirit of flight? Its quirky aircraft-like design may not have resonated with the mass market, but it remains a source of fascination for enthusiasts and historians alike. The Tasco story is one of bold ambition, of a small company daring to dream big in a rapidly changing world. It reminds us of the importance of innovation, of taking risks, and of looking to the skies for inspiration. In its fiberglass body and removable roof panels, the Tasco prototype encapsulates the spirit of an era defined by optimism and progress, even if its potential was never fully realized. In the end, the 1948 Tasco prototype is more than just a car. It's a piece of history, a symbol of what can happen when visionary design and engineering meet boundless creativity. It's a reminder that even the boldest ideas, though they may not succeed in their time, can leave an indelible mark on the future. And in the case of the Tasco, that market is a legacy of innovation and the enduring allure of reaching for the skies. In the shadowy corners of automotive history lies a name that many have never heard, but that few can forget once discovered: Montverdi. Born in Switzerland, a country better known for precision watches than roaring engines, Montverdi sought to disrupt the sports car elite with a machine so rare, so powerful, that it would stand as a testament to Swiss craftsmanship and audacity. The 1970 Montverdi High 450 SS was that machine, a sleek, snarling beast that dared to challenge the titans of Italy and beyond. Montverdi, founded by Peter Montverdi in 1967, was no stranger to luxury and performance. The company had already built a reputation for crafting refined grand tourers that blended Swiss precision with Italian flair. But by the late 1960s, Montverdi sought to create something different, something extraordinary, a supercar that could compete with the likes of Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Maserati. The result was the High 450 SS, a car whose name, High, German for shark, perfectly captured its aggressive intent. The High 450 SS was a supercar in every sense of the word. At its heart was a massive 7.0-liter Chrysler Hemi V8, a powerhouse borrowed from American muscle cars but reimagined for the European supercar stage. Mounted midship for optimal weight distribution and balance, the engine produced a staggering 450 horsepower, propelling the High to a claimed top speed of 180 mph. This was a speed that placed it squarely among the fastest cars of its era, a true rival to the Lamborghini Miura and Ferrari Daytona. But it wasn't just about raw power. The High 450 SS was a marvel of engineering and design. Its low, wedge-shaped body, crafted by Pietro Frua, was both striking and purposeful. The sharp nose, flowing lines, and muscular haunches exuded aggression and sophistication, while the mid-engine layout gave the car a balanced, poised stance that hinted at its dynamic capabilities. The cabin was equally luxurious, trimmed in fine leather and outfitted with the amenities expected of a Montverdi creation. It was a car designed to be both a weapon on the road and a sanctuary for its driver. Yet, for all its brilliance, the High 450 SS was a car destined for rarity. Only 2 examples were ever built, a staggering figure that underscores the exclusivity of the Swiss supercar. Montverdi had grand ambitions for the High, envisioning it as a limited production halo car that would solidify the brand's reputation among the world's automotive elite. But reality soon intervened. The High's enormous cost, combined with its ferocious performance and demanding nature, made it a difficult sell, even to the wealthiest of enthusiasts. The exclusivity of the High 450 SS only adds to its mystique. Today, these 2 examples stand as automotive unicorns, cherished by collectors and admired by enthusiasts who recognize the daring spirit behind their creation. The High was not just a car, it was a statement, a declaration that even in the quiet valleys of Switzerland, dreams of speed and power could take flight. What makes the High truly remarkable is how it managed to blend disparate worlds. It was a Swiss take on the Italian supercar ethos, powered by brute American muscle and wrapped in elegant European design. This unique fusion of cultures and philosophies gave the High a character all its own, a car that didn't simply follow trends, but forged its own path. To see a 1970 Montverdi High 450 SS today is to glimpse a vision of what could have been, a reminder of the bold risks taken by small manufacturers in an era of boundless creativity. Its Chrysler Hemi engine roars with the sound of American might, while its sleek, tailored body whispers of European elegance. Together, they form a car that is as unforgettable as it is rare. The High's story is one of ambition and exclusivity, of a small company punching far above its weight to create something truly extraordinary. It reminds us that sometimes the rarest and most remarkable cars aren't those produced in the thousands, but those made in the fewest numbers. Cars that, by their very nature, exist only in the realm of dreams. The 1970 Montverdi High 450 SS is more than just a car. It's a symbol of what happens when vision and courage collide. It's a shark among minnows, a supercar that dared to swim in the deepest, most treacherous waters of the automotive world, and left an indelible mark in its wake. Before the world was thrust into the chaos of World War II, the automotive industry was experiencing a golden age, a time when design and innovation were pushing the boundaries of what was possible, and luxury cars were more than just machines, but symbols of elegance and forward-thinking. Among the manufacturers who dared to break the mold and define a new era was Adler, a company better known for its motorcycles and typewriters than its automobiles. Yet, in 19, Adler introduced a vehicle that would carve a unique place in history, the Adler 2.5-liter. At first glance, the Adler 2.5-liter stands as a testament to the pinnacle of pre-war automotive design. This rare and breathtakingly beautiful coupe was not just a car, but an artistic masterpiece. Drawing heavily from the refined and luxurious Art Deco movement, the Adler 2.5-liter embodied the aesthetic qualities that defined the late 1930s. The flowing curves, smooth, rounded lines, and elegant proportions made the vehicle a visual marvel. It was streamlined not just for efficiency but for beauty. Every inch of the design was purposeful and meticulously crafted. It wasn't merely a car, it was an expression of its time, encapsulating the grandeur and sophistication of a world that would soon be lost to the tumult of war. Adler wasn't the first to embrace streamlined design, but the 2.5-liter took it to new heights. Its aerodynamic body, crafted with precision and skill, was ahead of its time, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible for a production car. The long, graceful fenders, the forward-leaning stance, and the subtle, almost imperceptible curves were all designed to reduce drag and allow the car to cut through the air with ease. The car looked as though it could glide, effortlessly carving through the atmosphere with the elegance of a bird in flight. It was a vision of speed, even when standing still. But Adler's commitment to innovation didn't stop with the bodywork. Underneath the exterior, the 2.5-liter housed a 2.5-liter inline-six engine, a refined powerhouse that, while not overwhelming in terms of horsepower, was more than enough to deliver a smooth, powerful ride. The engine's reliability and smooth operation reflected the precision engineering Adler was known for in its other ventures. The driving experience was designed to be one of comfort and grace, allowing the driver to feel as though they were gliding along the open road, perfectly in sync with the car's elegant design. Inside, the Adler 2.5-liter offered the same luxurious attention to detail. The interior was a blend of plush upholstery, polished wood, and fine materials that reflected the car's high-end appeal. It wasn't just about getting from one place to another. It was about the experience. From the moment you sat behind the wheel, you were surrounded by an atmosphere of quiet luxury, a world where the rush of everyday life seemed distant, and the pursuit of perfection was the only thing that mattered. Every element of the car was thoughtfully designed to offer an experience that was nothing short of indulgent. Yet, despite its elegance, cutting-edge design, and the promise of performance, the Adler 2.5-liter remained a rare gem, a forgotten marvel of pre-war engineering. Only a handful of these stunning coupes were ever built. Adler, faced with the challenges of a growing automotive market and the impending storm of war, couldn't afford to continue producing such expensive and intricate vehicles. The outbreak of World War II halted production, And as a result, many of the most innovative cars of the 1930s would never see the light of day again. The Adler 2.5-liter, with its graceful lines and advanced aerodynamics, was one of the few to survive this era of disruption, leaving behind a legacy that was as fleeting as it was beautiful. Today, the 1938 Adler 2.5-liter stands as a rare and highly sought-after collector's item. Its value isn't just in its rarity, but in the story it tells, of a time when automobiles were seen not just as machines, but as works of art. The Adler 2.5-liter was ahead of its time, a symbol of what the future of automotive design could have been, had history taken a different path. Its blend of advanced aerodynamics, Art Deco styling, and uncompromising quality made it one of the most sophisticated cars of the pre-war era. Its rarity only adds to its mystique, as only a handful of these machines remain today, cherished and admired by those who recognize their true worth. The Adler 2.5-liter is more than just a car. It is a snapshot of a lost era, a reminder of a time when design, elegance, and innovation reigned supreme. It is a tribute to the visionaries who dared to dream beyond the conventional, who saw the automobile not just as a tool, but as a canvas for artistic expression. The Adler 2.5-liter serves as a beacon to the past, a symbol of craftsmanship, and a reminder that even in the face of impending global conflict, creativity, and in the mid-20th century, as the world rebuilt itself from the ashes of war, innovation in the automotive world took many surprising forms. One of the most unexpected came from FMR, a company that took over Messerschmitt's car operations and set out to create something entirely unique: the 1956 FMR TG500 Tiger. This quirky four-wheeled bubble car stands as a testament to post-war ingenuity, capturing a time when small, efficient cars were becoming more than just a necessity, but a statement of both practicality and innovation. The TG500 Tiger was, at its core, an evolution of the bubble car design, a genre that had been popularized by Messerschmitt's earlier efforts. But FMR's take was something different. With a sleek, rounded body that seemed almost playful, the Tiger exuded a personality all its own. It was a car that seemed almost too small to be real, yet it carried a sense of charm and whimsy that made it stand out among the more conventional vehicles of the era. Its proportions, with the distinct bubble-shaped cabin, were unusual by the standards of the time, but therein lay its appeal. The FMR TG500 was powered by a modest 500cc engine, a small but surprisingly efficient power plant that was ideal for the light, compact design of the car. With just 500cc to work with, the Tiger wasn't about raw power. Instead, it excelled in providing an affordable, efficient, and surprisingly practical solution for post-war Europe's need for affordable personal transportation. Its top speed of around 60 mph may have been modest, but that was more than enough to get around the busy streets of the era. And with its small engine and lightweight body, the TG500 was also extremely fuel efficient, making it the perfect car for those who needed something economical yet fun to drive. But what truly sets the 1956 FMR TG500 Tiger apart is its rarity and quirky design. Only about 320 units were ever built, making it an extremely rare find in the world of classic cars. Its limited production combined with its unconventional looks have made it a prized collectible, sought after by enthusiasts who appreciate its unique place in automotive history. The Tiger's iconic, compact, bubble-like shape, coupled with its distinctive front end, gives it an unmistakable presence that can't be confused with any other car of its time. The TG500 wasn't just about being unusual, it was about filling a specific niche in the market. In the post-war period, Europe was filled with people who needed practical transportation. But the large, traditional cars of the pre-war era were simply too expensive and fuel-hungry for the everyday person. The Tiger was designed to be affordable, accessible, and efficient, all while providing a fun and engaging driving experience. Its small size made it ideal for navigating crowded city streets and tight parking spaces, and its unique design made it stand out as something truly different. The FMR TG500 represents a fascinating chapter in automotive history, one that tells the story of a time when necessity and creativity drove manufacturers to rethink the very concept of the automobile. In a world dominated by larger, more powerful cars, the Tiger was a quirky, lovable outlier, offering a fresh take on what a car could be. It didn't need to be fast, it didn't need to be luxurious, it just needed to be practical, affordable, and fun. Today, the 1956 FMR TG500 Tiger is a rare treasure for collectors and automotive historians alike. Its place in the world of bubble cars, as one of the last of its kind, makes it a fascinating glimpse into the ingenuity of the post-war era. With its unique, almost cartoonish appearance and its charming personality, the Tiger has earned its place as one of the most collectible and sought-after microcars in history. While its rarity and unusual design may have kept it a curiosity for many years, today it's seen as a beloved relic of a bygone era, one that showcases the boldness and creativity of a world that was beginning to move beyond the hardships of the past. The FMR TG500 Tiger is more than just a small car. It's a symbol of post-war optimism and creativity. It was a bold experiment in automotive design, showing that even the smallest, most unassuming cars could make a lasting impact. For collectors, enthusiasts, and anyone who appreciates the quirky side of automotive history, the 1956 FMR TG500 Tiger is a rare and special treasure, one that is as fun to look at as it is to drive, and one that continues to captivate the hearts of those who discover it. In the world of classic cars, few vehicles stand as symbols of luxury, innovation, and ambition, quite like the 1931 Marmon 16. This remarkable machine wasn't just another luxury sedan, it was a masterpiece of engineering and design, a car that encapsulated the very essence of the early 20th century pursuit of automotive perfection. And yet, despite its groundbreaking advancements, the Marmon 16 remains a rare and almost mythical piece of history, a testament to what could have been had fortune been kinder. The Marmon 16 was a true marvel from the moment it was introduced. Powered by a massive V16 engine, it represented the pinnacle of automotive engineering at the time. In an era when most cars were still limited to straight 6 or V8 engines, the Marmon 16 pushed the boundaries of what was possible. The V16 engine was a work of art in itself, offering not just brute force, but an incredibly smooth, refined driving experience that made the 16 a joy to drive on any road. With this engine, Marmon was able to achieve performance that could rival the best cars of the era, including Cadillac's flagship models. It was a powerhouse, capable of effortlessly propelling the 16 at high speeds, all while maintaining a level of smoothness and quiet operation that was almost unheard of at the time. This engine, with its 16 cylinders, gave the Marmon 16 an air of unmatched power, grace, and refinement. But the Marmon 16 was not just about performance, it was also about style. Designed to cater to the elite, this car was as much a statement of wealth and taste as it was a technical achievement. The design was elegant and bold, with long flowing lines, a sleek profile, and an unmistakable presence on the road. It looked every bit the part of a car made for royalty, presidents, and the wealthiest business magnates of the day. The front grille, with its bold and distinctive lines, the long sweeping fenders, and the luxurious detailing throughout, all spoke to a level of craftsmanship that was rare, even in an era defined by luxury automobiles. Every inch of the Marmon 16 was designed with purpose, combining aerodynamics with beauty, functionality with artistry. The car's shape was as much about performance as it was about creating an air of elegance and sophistication. Inside, the Marmon 16 took luxury to the next level. The cabin was a sanctuary of comfort, with plush leather seats, polished wood paneling, and a level of craftsmanship that few cars at the time could match. The dashboard was a symphony of beautifully crafted dials and gauges, all housed within a design that balanced both form and function. The seats, upholstered in fine leather, provided both comfort and support, making long drives a pleasurable experience. This was a car made not just for getting from point A to point B, but for making the journey an experience to be savored, an experience that reflected the opulence of its owners. However, despite its groundbreaking design, stunning luxury, and unparalleled engineering, the Marmon 16 was not meant to be. Only around 400 units were ever produced, making it an extremely rare and highly coveted piece of automotive history. The timing of its release, however, was its downfall. In 1931, the world was on the brink of the Great Depression, and luxury cars, especially ones as expensive and exclusive as the Marmon 16, were no longer in high demand. People who once purchased high-end automobiles were tightening their belts, and as the economic collapse deepened, Marmon found itself unable to continue producing the 16. The Great Depression would seal the fate of many companies, and Marmon, despite its exceptional engineering and stunning designs, was one of them. The 16, along with its fellow models, would be one of the last of Marmon's great innovations, as the company's financial troubles would eventually lead to its demise. The story of the Marmon 16 is a bittersweet one. It's a story of what could have been, a car that was ahead of its time, designed to rival the best luxury automobiles of the era, but ultimately doomed by circumstances beyond its control. Its rarity today is not just a result of limited production, but also a symbol of the fragility of fortune in the world of high-end manufacturing. Only a few of these magnificent machines remain today, each one a rare treasure in the world of classic cars. Owning a Marmon 16 is not just about owning a piece of automotive history, it's about preserving a moment in time when luxury, engineering, and design came together in the most remarkable way. For collectors and automotive enthusiasts alike, the 1931 Marmon 16 represents the ideal intersection of innovation, elegance, and rarity. Its massive V16 engine, its breathtaking design, and its luxurious interior combined to make it one of the most sought-after classic cars in the world. The 16 was a car made for the elite. In the history of supercars, there are moments that transcend time, where the fusion of innovation, design, and engineering creates something so special that it becomes a legend even before it has a chance to make its mark on the world. One such moment occurred in 1971 when Tomaso, the storied Italian-Argentine automaker, unveiled the Tomaso Z, a prototype that would forever change the course of automotive history despite its never having entered production. Before the world would come to know Pagani's Zonda, the iconic hypercar that would dominate the supercar scene decades later, Tomaso Zonda had already set the wheels of history in motion. But unlike its namesake, this Zonda would remain an elusive and solitary creation, its legacy born from the sparks of a vision that never fully came to fruition. The 1971 Tomaso Zonda was unlike anything the automotive world had seen before. In a time when the boundaries of performance and design were still being defined, this car was a revelation. Built as a prototype, it was a bold statement from a company already known for its high-performance vehicles. But this was different. This was an attempt to challenge the very idea of what a supercar could be. Its body, sculpted to perfection, was a marriage of Italian elegance and aerodynamic excellence. With its sleek curves, sharp angles, and aggressive stance, it was a car designed for those who dared to push the limits. The lines of the Zonda prototype were not just for show, they were calculated to cut through the air with minimal resistance, a car designed to move at blistering speeds. But the true magic of the Tomaso Zonda lay beneath its striking exterior. Powered by a Ford V8 engine, this was a car that was not only visually impressive, but also a force to be reckoned with on the road. The V8 engine, chosen for its raw power and performance capabilities, gave the Zonda an edge over many of its contemporaries. The engine roared with a power that could propel the car to impressive top speeds, matching and in some cases surpassing many of the performance figures of rival Italian supercars of the era. The combination of Italian design and American muscle was a perfect match, with the Ford V8 engine delivering blistering acceleration, unmatched reliability, and a driving experience that was both thrilling and refined. The Zonda was as much about performance as it was about design, blending two different automotive cultures to create something truly unique. Despite its revolutionary design and impressive engine, the Tomaso Zonda was destined to remain a dream. Only one prototype was ever built. The reasons behind this are a mixture of economic factors, shifting priorities, and a rapidly changing automotive landscape. Tomaso, known for its high-performance sports cars like the Pantera, was navigating a difficult financial period, and the resources required to push a car of this magnitude into production simply weren't available. Though the Zonda prototype was an incredible car, the company struggled to find the right timing to bring it to market, and as the years passed, the project was ultimately shelved. Despite its potential, the Zonda prototype would fade into obscurity, leaving only the legend of what might have been. Today, the 1971 De Tomaso Zonda stands as one of the rarest and most elusive prototypes in automotive history. It is a singular piece, a one-off creation that captures the dreams and ambitions of an era when the lines between art, engineering, and performance were blurred. This one car, this one prototype, represents a moment in time when De Tomaso dared to push the limits, to create something that would rival the greatest supercars in the world, and yet it remains a solitary example of what could have been. Its rarity only adds to its allure, making it one of the most coveted and sought-after cars by collectors and automotive enthusiasts alike. The De Tomaso Zonda might not have been the car to put De Tomaso on the map in the way its successors would, but it was undoubtedly ahead of its time. This prototype, in its raw power and beautiful design, was the precursor to an era of hypercars and supercars that would emerge in the decades that followed. It was a glimpse into the future, a futuristic vision that, had it been fully realized, might have changed the trajectory of De Tomaso and the entire automotive industry. It was a car that blended the best of two worlds, Italian design and American power, and stood as a testament to the ambition and creativity that fuels the automotive industry. While the Zonda name would later become synonymous with Pagani's legendary supercar, the De Tomaso Zonda remains a quiet, unsung precursor. A prototype born from a vision that was not fully realized, but one that continues to spark the imagination of those who understand its place in automotive history. The 1971 De Tomaso Zonda is more than just a rare prototype. In the world of automotive design, few cars achieve the kind of legendary status that transcends time. Rarely does a vehicle become not just a mode of transport, but a symbol of vision, creativity, and ambition. One such car is the 1965 Buick Riviera Silver Arrow I, a singular creation that stands as one of the most coveted and awe-inspiring concept cars ever built. It is the epitome of American automotive innovation from the 1960s, a time when the boundaries of design were being pushed, and car manufacturers were eager to showcase their boldest ideas. The Silver Arrow was more than just a car, it was a dream. But like so many dreams, it was never fully realized for the public to experience on a mass scale, making it an enduring symbol of what might have been. Based on the first-generation Buick Riviera, which itself was already a revolutionary design, the Silver Arrow I took everything to the next level. The Riviera had already earned acclaim for its elegant, futuristic lines and performance-driven design. But the Silver Arrow I was a concept car that showed just how far Buick was willing to push the envelope. Its design elements were groundbreaking for the time: sleek aerodynamic curves that reduced drag, an aggressive front end with a grille that seemed to swallow the road ahead, and a roofline that flowed like liquid metal from front to back. Every inch of this car was crafted with purpose and beauty in mind, making it not only a vehicle but a rolling piece of art. Inside the Silver Arrow, I was no less impressive. Buick wasn't simply concerned with how the car looked, it was equally focused on how the car made its driver feel. The cabin was a luxurious cocoon featuring the finest materials, plush leather seats, and intricate detailing that spoke to a level of craftsmanship that was rare even for a luxury car brand like Buick. It had a futuristic dashboard layout, with gauges and controls that were as much about style as they were about functionality, making the driver feel like they were piloting something out of a science fiction movie. But it wasn't all just for show. The Silver Arrow was designed with comfort and ease in mind, with advanced features that showcased the state-of-the-art technology of the era. At the heart of the Silver Arrow was Buick's signature V8 engine. This engine, which powered the car to remarkable speeds, was a testament to Buick's performance pedigree. The V8's smooth yet potent acceleration allowed the car to glide effortlessly on highways, providing both power and comfort in a seamless driving experience. The Silver Arrow wasn't just a pretty face, it was a car that could deliver on the performance front. a rare combination of beauty and brawn that was not often found in concept cars. Yet, despite its brilliance, the Silver Arrow iron was never mass-produced. It was never intended to be. As a concept car, its primary purpose was to showcase the potential future direction of Buick's design philosophy. While it generated significant buzz when it was revealed, the car was not built for consumer release. Instead, it stood as a testament to what Buick could achieve if they pushed the boundaries of design and technology to their absolute limits. The Silver Arrow was a vision of the future, one that was never fully realized for the masses to experience. Its failure to enter production speaks to the volatility of the automotive industry, where financial constraints and market pressures often leave even the most brilliant ideas on the cutting room floor. Only one 1965 Buick Riviera Silver Arrow was ever made, and because of that, it holds an almost mythical status among automotive collectors and enthusiasts. Its rarity alone makes it one of the most sought-after cars in existence. But it's more than just a rare vehicle. It's a piece of automotive history, a car that was never meant to exist beyond the realm of conceptual design but left an indelible mark on the industry nonetheless. The Silver Arrow was a symbol of what was possible at the peak of American automotive ingenuity, a vehicle that combined futuristic design with luxury, power, and performance. What makes this car so special is not just its striking appearance or its performance specs, but the fact that it represents an era of automotive experimentation, an era where manufacturers like Buick were not afraid to dream big. It was a time when concept cars were not bound by market forces, where manufacturers could design for the sake of art, innovation, and future possibility. The Silver Arrow is the embodiment of that spirit, an audacious idea that was never meant to become a reality, but nevertheless captures the imagination of those who look back on it with awe. Today, the 1965 Buick Riviera Silver Arrow remains a rare jewel, the kind of car that only a select few will ever have the chance to see in person. Its existence as a one-off concept car only adds to its allure, as it is the only one of its kind. Among the most fascinating and elusive chapters in automotive history lies the story of the 1969 AMC AMX3, a car that, though it never fully realized its potential, remains one of the most intriguing and rare creations to ever come from American shores. When you think of American muscle cars, names like Mustang, Corvette, and Camaro might come to mind. Yet hidden in the folds of the muscle car era is a car that was far more ambitious than its contemporaries. A car that sought to break away from tradition and push the boundaries of what an American car could be. The AMX3 was AMC's bold attempt to enter the world of European supercars, combining American muscle with European precision. However, despite its promise, this supercar dream was never fully realized. At a time when American automakers were known primarily for their large, powerful V8 engines and wide, muscular frames, AMC sought to do something radically different. The AMX3 was their answer to the European mid-engine supercars that had begun to captivate the world. Designed with input from Giotto Bizzarini, the legendary engineer behind the Ferrari 250 GTO, the AMX3 was far more than just an attempt to create another sports car. It was an attempt to reshape the way people thought about American performance. The car's design was futuristic, aggressive, and daring, featuring sleek, sharp lines that pointed toward the future of automotive styling. Unlike the typical front-engine layout found in most American cars, the AMX3 employed a mid-engine configuration, something that was still considered unusual in the US at the time. This layout not only helped the car achieve superior handling, but also gave it a unique balance that rivaled the best European sports cars. The AMX3 was a true driver's car, built to take on the likes of Ferrari, Lamborghini, and other Italian powerhouses, but with an unmistakably American flair. Under the hood, the AMX3 was powered by a 390 cubic inch V8 engine, a powerhouse that gave the car remarkable acceleration and top-end speed. Though it didn't quite match the horsepower figures of some of its Italian competitors, the AMX3 was more than capable of holding its own. With the combination of its mid-engine layout and powerful V8, the AMX3 had the kind of driving dynamics that car enthusiasts of the time had only dreamed of coming from an American manufacturer. But despite its groundbreaking design, innovative engineering, and the high hopes that AMC had for the project, the AMX3 was never meant to be. Only 6 prototypes were ever built, and despite the incredible amount of time and effort put into their creation, the project was ultimately shelved due to its high costs. AMC, struggling with financial difficulties, simply could not justify continuing a project that required such an immense investment. As the project was abandoned, the AMX3 faded into automotive obscurity, a rare and unfinished vision of what could have been an American supercar icon. This car's rarity is what gives it its mystique. With only 6 prototypes built, the AMX3 stands as one of the rarest and most sought-after American cars ever made. Its design, inspired by some of the greatest names in automotive engineering, was never fully appreciated by the public in its time. Today, however, the AMX3 has become one of the most cherished collector's cars in the world, with each surviving prototype representing an unattainable piece of automotive history. The AMX3 wasn't just a car, it was an idea, a dream that nearly became reality. It represented AMC's effort to transcend its traditional muscle car roots and embrace the precision and performance of Europe's finest supercars. It was an ambitious, audacious attempt to create something that could rival Ferrari or Lamborghini, something that had the potential to change the automotive world. But in the end, it was a victim of circumstance, a victim of its own high cost, and the shifting priorities of an automaker that simply couldn't make the numbers work. Yet, the AMX3 lives on, not only in the history books, but in the hearts of car enthusiasts around the world. It is a reminder of a time when American manufacturers weren't afraid to dream big, when they were willing to take on the world's best, even if it meant venturing into uncharted territory. The AMX3 was never meant to be mass-produced, but it stands as an icon of what could have been, an American supercar that never reached its full potential but continues to captivate imaginations to this day. For those fortunate enough to see one of the original AMX3 prototypes in person, it's a rare glimpse into a lost dream, a chance to experience firsthand what could have been an American icon. And for the lucky few who have been able to add one to their collection, they possess a piece of automotive history, a vehicle that represents not just the pinnacle of AMC's engineering, but also the spirit of ambition. Picture a time in 1935 when the automotive world was dominated by big, boxy sedans, luxury cars, and rugged roadsters. This was the era when cars were still primarily seen as symbols of status or tools of function. Vehicles designed for one or two purposes, getting from point A to point B in style or strength. Now imagine a car that didn't just serve a single purpose, but was built to be practical, versatile, and future-forward. This car would break the mold entirely, combining the functionality of a family vehicle with the elegance of modern design, wrapped in a package unlike anything seen before. This was the 1935 Stout Scarab, the world's first true minivan. Designed by William B. Stout, an aviation engineer and visionary, the Scarab was a radical departure from the traditional cars of the era. Stout, who had a keen understanding of aerodynamics and efficiency, sought to create a car that was not only advanced in its design, but also entirely reimagined in how it served its passengers. The Scarab was built with a unibody construction, something virtually unheard of at the time. This advanced monocoque frame eliminated the need for a separate body and chassis, offering the kind of strength and rigidity that would only later become commonplace in automotive design. But the Scarab's innovation didn't stop there. Perhaps the most remarkable feature of this forward-thinking vehicle was its rear-mounted engine. Positioned at the back of the car, this design offered better weight distribution, creating a smoother, more balanced driving experience. The rear-mounted engine also freed up the interior, giving passengers more room to stretch out and relax. This wasn't just a car, it was an experience, where comfort and convenience took center stage. The interior design of the Scarab was nothing short of extraordinary. With a spacious cabin that could seat up to 7 passengers, the seating arrangement was revolutionary for its time. Instead of the traditional front-facing rows of seats, the Scarab featured seats that faced one another, encouraging conversation and creating a communal atmosphere. This was a vehicle designed for families or small groups, offering a unique combination of luxury and practicality. The plush seating, large windows, and ample headroom made the Scarab feel more like a mobile lounge than a car, far ahead of its time in terms of passenger comfort. Yet the Stout Scarab wasn't just practical, it was a masterpiece of design. Influenced by the sleek geometric forms of Art Deco, the Scarab had an elegance and sophistication that set it apart from everything else on the road. Its curving, streamlined body looked like something from the future, as though it belonged in a world far ahead of its 1930s contemporaries. The smooth, aerodynamic lines, punctuated by elegant touches and an almost industrial simplicity, conveyed a sense of speed and modernity. In a world filled with boxy, straight-edge automobiles, the Scarab stood as a beacon of innovation. Despite its cutting-edge design and revolutionary engineering, the Scarab never made it to mass production. Only 9 examples were ever built, making it one of the rarest cars in history. Stout's ambitious plans were curtailed by the Great Depression, and the Scarab never caught on with the general public. At the time, most consumers simply weren't ready for such an avant-garde design, and mass production of the Stout Scarab would have been prohibitively expensive. While the car's beauty and ingenuity were clear, the world wasn't yet prepared for such a leap in automotive evolution. Yet, despite its limited production and commercial failure, the Stout Scarab has gone down in history as one of the most significant vehicles ever created. It is now considered the first minivan, the prototype for a whole category of family cars that would later dominate the automotive market. The Scarab's combination of space, comfort, and versatility would eventually influence the design of vehicles like the Chrysler Town & Country and the Dodge Caravan, the vehicles that would go on to define the minivan segment in the 1980s. The Stout Scarab was decades ahead of its time, and its influence reverberates throughout the automotive world today. The rarity of the Stout Scarab only adds to its allure. Only 9 were ever made, each one unique in its own right, with different configurations and designs. The Scarab's legacy is not just in its rarity, though. It is in its incredible foresight and ambition. Stout's vision wasn't just for a family car, it was for a mobile living space, a vehicle that could cater to the needs of families, business people, and adventurers alike. In a world where most cars were designed to be tools for the road, the Scarab was designed to be a tool for life, where luxury, practicality, and modernity could all coexist. For those who are fortunate enough to see a Stout Scarab today, it is like looking at an artifact from the future. Take a moment to imagine the automotive world in the early 1970s, a time when innovation and daring design were colliding to create machines that would go down in history. Among these, one car stands out, not for its mass appeal, but for its absolute and unrelenting audacity. The 1974 Lancia Stratos HF0 was a concept car that redefined the idea of what a sports car could be, and it did so in a way that no other car had before. Designed by the iconic Italian car design house Bertone, the Stratos Zero was born out of a vision for the future, one where automotive engineering and radical styling would break all the conventional rules. With a shape so revolutionary it almost seemed like it belonged on a different planet, the Stratos Zero was a wedge-shaped marvel that left onlookers speechless. Its silhouette was impossibly low, so much so that to enter the car, the driver and passenger had to slide in through the windshield, a feat that almost seemed as though it were part of a science fiction movie. What makes the Stratos Zero truly rare is not just its design, but the fact that it was a prelude to the legendary Lancia Stratos HF, a car that would go on to dominate the world of rallying in the 1970s. The Zero wasn't intended for production. It was an experiment, a concept meant to showcase Lancia's bold new direction. But in its own right, the Stratos Zero became a symbol of the 1970s automotive era, an era where designers dared to push boundaries and create cars that weren't just vehicles but expressions of an entirely new philosophy. With its minimalistic and futuristic design, the Stratos Zero captured the essence of what was to come in the world of performance cars. The body, with sharp angles and geometric lines, was unlike anything seen before. There was nothing conventional about this car. The dramatic shape was a bold statement of what could be achieved with the advanced materials and design, with every curve and edge crafted to slice through the air with precision. Its low stance and sleek profile signaled that this wasn't just about appearance. It was about performance, too. Despite being a concept car, the Stratos Zero had the spirit of a race car, low, fast, and ready to dominate. The interior, like the exterior, was as experimental as it was breathtaking. With no traditional doors or even a conventional dashboard, everything in the Stratos Zero was stripped down to essentials. It wasn't about luxury, it was about the experience of being indeed a machine built for speed, agility, and, above all, pushing the limits of what a car could be. The steering wheel, located directly in front of the windshield, emphasized the feeling that the driver was truly in control of something extraordinary. But what truly elevates the Stratos Zero from a mere concept car to a legendary icon is its rarity. Only one Stratos Zero exists, and it remains preserved as a testament to the bold, fearless spirit of 1970s car design. Its place in history is cemented not just because it preceded the Stratos HF, but because it represents the very essence of automotive daring. It was a car that turned heads in a way that no other concept car before it had, and it set the stage for one of the most successful rally cars in history, the Lancia Stratos HF. As the Stratos Zero sits in its preserved state today, it serves as a time capsule, a window into a world where car designers believed the impossible was just a starting point. It may have never been mass-produced, but it left an indelible mark on the automotive world. Its legacy endures, not just because of the Stratos that followed, but because the Zero was the embodiment of innovation, passion, and the art of car design at its most daring. For those lucky enough to see it in person, the Stratos Zero stands as an enduring symbol of an era when the automotive world was not afraid to dream big and break all the rules. In its wedge-shaped glory, it remains a beacon of 1970s automotive bravado, one of the most unique and rare cars ever created. Truly, there will never be another like it.